And welcome everybody to the first episode I'm doing with a new recording software. I'm trying out Riverside FM, and it seems to be going okay so far. I haven't managed to break anything, which is a bit unusual for me, Pew Pew. I have severe boomer syndrome whenever it comes to doing anything technical. But thank you so much for joining, mate. When I had your store shared with me, I was blown away by it. It was, you can see behind me, I've got, all the usual sort of crap that us gamers love to collect and that. And DayZ has always obviously had a soft spot in my heart. It blew me away just how good this stuff was, mate. But before we go into too much more of that, let's find out a little bit more about you. Tell us a bit about yourself, Hugh.
First of all, thank you for having me. About myself, I'm 54 years old. I work for a very large multinational steel manufacturer in the Netherlands. I'm married. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and that's and we have a cat which is sometimes behind me. And yeah, that's basically who I am. What else? I have other hobbies. Besides making dioramas, I do some archery, traditional bow. I like to do that, and I just like to be busy. That's basically who I am.
How did you start getting into DayZ, mate? Because obviously that would have been the first part before you started building the dioramas and so on.
Well, I've always been into survival games. I kind of just love that, the challenge. It's not always the PvP combat thing, but it's mostly the survival aspect of it. So I played Subnautica, I played Stranded Deep, The Forest, all those survival games. I just love that. The danger that's always there, and you make one mistake and it's fatal. I kind of like that, and so that's basically how I got into DayZ. I haven't been playing that long actually, for about 2 years now, so I think I'm a freshie. But I can. Official servers are like easy for me now, and so I'm already playing the more hardcore servers to get a bit more of a challenge. And I'm looking very forward to Badlands also because it's a new map and maybe new buildings I can recreate in diorama, so that will be fun. So yeah, that's how I got in DayZ.
Okay, I'm just going to hold for a sec, mate. I think I've got an issue here. It's saying we're live, but I'm not seeing that the stream is coming through.
Okay.
So let me just see what I've done wrong here.
It says live on my side, and it
has
a small button uploading on the other side, which is constantly at 99%.
There you go. There we go. I managed to slightly break it.
Okay.
It was live on another one, so I don't know quite why I did that, but we are live.
Okay.
So I'll have to edit that awkward little bit out. Um, how bizarre.
Okay.
How bizarre. So I don't have the. There we go. YouTube is live. That is, it's live. You're live. Morning, fellas. All the smoke, cap flap, solo clone. How you all doing? My apologies for that. Thank you, Bake Button Basher, for helping me solve that and jumping over and typing in the wrong stream. So, yeah, that's something I'll have to work out why I did that. Okay, let's get back to it. So you found that you started enjoying the game, enjoyed the hardcore side of it. Now,
Yeah.
before the show, you told me that you didn't realize you had this creative streak in you. Had you been doing dioramas before you started playing DayZ, or
No.
DayZ was the inspiration for it?
Well, the inspiration was basically a video I saw on YouTube, and I
Mhm.
forgot the kid's name, but it was an 11-year-old autistic boy, and he created these road surfaces like tarmac,
Yep.
and he put it on a small table outside of his house, and then he lined it up with the actual road outside his house, and he put a car on top of it, and then the way
Wow.
he took the photos, it looked like the real thing. You really believed that car was standing on that road, and I really
Wow.
liked that. So I thought, hey, I want to try this and see
I've
how far I
noticed
get.
that with some of yours,
Yeah,
that you take photos of them with real life in the background, and
yeah,
you're doing something with the camera so that it kind of blurs it, and it just makes the whole thing look like part of the
yeah,
scene. It's very well done.
yeah. And the first piece I did was, I was thinking, okay, what I'm going to do, and I was playing DayZ. So I thought, why not take that wooden log cabin, style, log house, um, and do what that boy was also doing, put it on the table. And, so that's what I did. Well, that's basically how it started. And, I didn't know I had any skill. I had to learn from scratch. And, basically what I did was I bought, a lot of popsicle sticks and
Hmm.
start breaking them and cutting them, and that's how I start building. So that's how it started, and I have some of these what they call forced perspective pieces. I still have those, but I do not really make them anymore. So what I make now are full dioramas. You know, you can they have they're done on all sides basically, um, and the forced perspective ones are usually just one side because the end product is not so much the building, but it's the photo you make of the building. So
Yep.
I hope people understand what I mean.
So I'm just scrolling back because I've got things flying around everywhere. Um, where are we? There we go. So, how did you decide to start doing the DayZ ones?
Well, basically, I was just looking for a subject, and the nice thing about the DayZ ones is, in every town you go, you see the same houses. So it's not every house is unique. You know, the
They're
log
all kind of
cabin,
iconic.
yeah, yeah, and so it's recognizable. So I thought if I'm going to make something for the first time, of course I could make up some kind of shed in the woods and make that, but I could also take something people would recognize because then it's more fun to share. And it also was a bit of a test for me to see if can I make this so well that people immediately say, "Hey, I know this building," and actually that worked. And I could show you the first one I made. I have it
I was
here.
just about to ask if you still have the first one you
Yeah,
ever made.
well, I'll pick it up, and it's quite large because it's not meant to be a diorama, but a forced perspective piece. But it's this one,
Oh, wow.
so it's quite big, and this is entirely made out of popsicle sticks and cardboard. And I just built this so that if I would hold it like this and you would be the camera,
Yep.
and I would hold it the camera somewhere here, with grass and trees on the background, you would have it would look like the real thing. And the difference between this and a diorama is, I'll show you this, because there's nothing on the backside. It's just an empty shell. You can see this is cardboard, just painted cardboard. And that's
Yep.
because the only reason why you build this is because you want to make a picture.
Yeah.
So
You're not building it really to play with. You're building it to look at it. And yeah.
And what I'm doing now these days is more the real diorama things you can or put on display or put on a table or put on a shelf. So that's much more like this kind of things. You can.
Yep.
So that's here. This is the end result, and the other thing, the photo, is the end result. So that's basically.
They're awesome. So, how long have you been gaming for?
Oh, very long, since I was a kid, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't have a computer myself, but I had a friend who had a Sinclair ZX Spectrum home computer, which was, I think, at the same time the Commodore 64 came out, and so I've always been. I always loved games. I spent all my. When I was a kid, when we would go to holiday somewhere with my parents on vacation, I was looking if there is one of those places
arcade machines.
Arcades. So I spent all my money there. And
we both but we were chatting before the show, and we're the same age. 50. Pew Pew's 54. I'm 53, about to turn 54, and I kind of like. We kind of lived during the golden age of video games as kids. We missed the pinball era, but we were there for Pac-Man and Frogger, and when arcades were the place to be, with your 20-cent coins or whatever it was for you back in the day, and then the evolution of the home gaming consoles and PCs, the Ataris and Segas and all the rest of them, and it was a beautiful time to be a kid, wasn't it? Going down the arcade, and everyone had their little 3-letter tag, so you could see who had the highest score on that game. And Did you? What was yours? I used to use ACE.
Yeah, I played that one too, and you had Golden Axe, which was like a bit like an RPG style, side-scrolling game. And
I love Golden Axe.
And what I remember. I forgot the name, but it's a game. You're in a police car, you have to chase down another car and hit it from behind until it stops, and then you progress on to the next one. And it was really difficult, I remember, but I loved it.
Oh yeah, they knew how to milk the 20-cent pieces out of you, didn't they? Would you like to continue? Yes, because I want to beat the game. And yeah. There's a guy who runs a YouTube channel where he plays versions that he's ported over to PC and works out just how much it would have cost you back in the day to beat the game fully. And some of them are quite egregious. Dragon's Lair, do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the worst. But yeah. We're starting to go off on segues. So when did you realize that these items could be something that people might want to buy?
Basically, I think the first one, the piece I just showed you, I put it on Reddit, and it got a lot of traction. And there's quite a lot of people that thought, they really said, "Oh, this is nice." And I got a lot of mostly Americans. The first thing they said is, "How much?" So so they immediately asked for a price, and I was like, "I'm just showing my stuff. I wasn't supposed to be on sale."
Mate, you must be doing something right to get a positive reaction on Reddit.
Yeah, I guess so. So, and then I put it on a diorama page on Facebook, and but it's mostly the gaming groups, like the DayZ groups, where you get these reactions of people say, "Oh, I really would love to have this sitting on my desk." So basically that's how it started. Although it was never my intention to start selling these. I'm making these as a hobby. It takes quite a lot of time to make one, let me tell you. So yeah, so it's but that's how I discovered people asking me
Mm-hmm.
if they could purchase one. So,
So DayZ's got a very iconic feel about it. You know, the
yeah.
decay, the emptiness of some of the towns, even, and all the rest of it. How did you capture the feeling of DayZ in something only essentially, you know, a few inches wide, you know, 20 centimeters or so? What's
Uh,
the secret for you? Because
uh,
they really do. Like you look at them, and you know, like Button Basher said, you know, the first time I saw them, I was like, hold on, that's DayZ. Yeah, it's
yeah. Well, it's actually difficult to explain, but I think it's just um, the weird thing about DC is those houses, unless you're playing on Sakal or something, those houses are basically still in one piece. They're not broken down and not falling over. You can still enter them, and um, but but the windows are, for instance, broken, and you see rust on the roofs, and so it's like it's decaying, but it's not. It's not going on for ages. You can kind of see that, and and I don't know exactly how I manage to capture that essence, but it's basically weathering what I do. So I use basically water and I put a little bit of black paint in it, and I mix it, and I just throw it basically on. I don't know if you can see that, but if you look at the roof, for instance, I'm not sure if it shows in the camera, but it has these black streaks like running
yep.
down from it. That's basically just water with a slight, small amount of acrylic black paint in it, and I just let it run down so it looks a bit like it got molded a bit. So yeah, that's how I do these things.
Have you thought about some of the buildings from Livonia? Because some of them are quite interesting with their semi-ruined stage, but
Yeah,
still a bit more open. They'd probably be a lot harder, wouldn't they? Because you'd have to be doing a lot of internal detail as well as external.
yeah, yeah. That might be a bit harder, but I am actually thinking about doing these things. Um, One of the things I'm still trying to learn is like how to make stuff look overgrown. And I already did something like that. I have one here, but in my opinion, that one was failed experiment. But there's this one, and it has this ivy growing on. Uh, but I wasn't very happy with the result. So that's something I'm still learning, and those are things I could use when you have buildings that have been abandoned for decades, and there's plants and moss growing all over it. That's something I'm kind of still learning. So that yeah, Livonia would be excellent for those kind of buildings.
What's harder to replicate, buildings, terrain, or the mood, the feel of the image?
Um, for me, it's I think the terrain. And that might be a bit odd because other people who make dioramas usually say the easiest part is the terrain. But I always find it kind of difficult to get like mud and rocks and sand uh, look nice. I've thrown away a lot of stuff. I spent a lot of time making it. I usually use plaster mixed with some Mod Podge, which is a modeling stuff that I think every modeler has in his on the shelf. It's stuff you use for everything. And then I mix it with some paint and I try to make mud. And sometimes I have to throw everything away like 3 or 4 times before I feel it's good enough. So I think terrain is for me the most difficult.
Yep. Sorry, I'm still trying to work out why it created a whole new stream when I hit go live. It's really frustrated me, but these things happen. You said you work in IT, so
Yeah,
if anything can go wrong,
I know.
yeah.
Always at the wrong moment.
Okay. Sorry, just getting back to it. Um, no, not OBS, mate. It was I'm using a program called Riverside, and it's the first time I've used it because I was having a fair few issues, as most of you would realise, with the old one, and trying something new to try to lift the quality of the show, and I've just managed to make it even more boomerish. Okay, here we go. Do you recreate from scratch? Like looking at them, it looks like you've tried to just recreate them, but are there anywhere you've gone for your own interpretation of a location?
No, mainly I just really try to recreate. There might be some differences in how certain things look like.
Because the house you showed me, the first one, is that the one that's on the beachfront on Scalisti Island on Chernarus?
You mean the one I showed you just now?
Yeah, because you've got the well at the front of it, and that reminds me of the one that's on the island.
No, actually, no. This was actually you could say my own interpretation. So the house is I tried to build exactly like the houses look, but I wanted to add some details in, so I put the well in front. So yeah, that is an example of something I did.
An interpretation, yep.
Yeah.
Sort of like a what would you call it? A test of whether it was something viable for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm still kind of blown away that it's all made out of paddle pops. Or,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think the well I made out of a bottle cap, and then painted and put some sand over it to make it look like concrete.
Repurposing, I love that. I love repurposing things.
And I put sharpening stones in the outhouses, so and they're made out of clay.
So we're going to get into some of the more technical stuff for the people who are hobbyists of this sort of stuff. Looking at these builds, I think I saw it on your website. It was 76:1. Is that the scale you generally work in?
Yeah, generally, because it keeps things a bit compact. I can, if I wanted to put it in a display case, I can put fit in. And it's just the scale I kind of like the most. I think it's tiny, which I like. I like tiny. But it's not so tiny that you don't see any details anymore. So it's, I can still put a rubbish bin next to a house, and I can still paint some rust on the drain pipes, and so that it is like my favorite scale. It's not exact though. I have a cheat sheet, which basically tells me, okay, if an object is this big in real life, then how big should it be in 176 or 172? And then I go from there. And usually I start with a door, because if I have the door correct, then I don't really have to measure the walls around it. I can basically line them up like, okay, the door's this big, so the wall should be that big. You know? So that's how I work. And the green mustache though was a bit smaller, and that was because I created it in 176, but somehow it came out too big, so I threw the whole thing away, and I just scaled it down 40%. So it's about 180. So it actually got a bit smaller in scale. So if you have this one and you would put the green mustache next to it, I built, that wouldn't really fit, because it's the green mustache is actually a smaller scale.
Button Basher in chat is asking, have you thought about making them smaller but a bigger model, like one of the smaller towns, for example?
You mean like an entire town, or?
Yeah.
No, not really. I could try that, but then if I wanted to keep it small, then I would have go for a smaller scale. Then you go HO scale, which is like people who use trains, play with trains. That scale. And for me, that's not really interesting, because small details are just a bit too difficult if you.
Well, that's what I was thinking as well. Like, as nice as it might be to see it, so part of the beauty of your dioramas is the detail that's in them.
Yeah,
they really do just scream DayZ. It's not like, if I did it, people would be looking at it going, I have no idea what you just drew or made there, Boydie. It's like,
Come
what
on,
is that
Robbie.
rubbish? But yours, it's immediately obvious what they're from. Even if you didn't call it a DayZ diorama, people would look at it and go, I know that house. That's from DayZ. Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of help basically in just watching YouTube videos because I like these walls I made, like for instance this one, these walls. I've tried a lot of different ways to do this, and nothing worked until I find out that if you just use a little bit of foam, it's like this stuff, it's really soft stuff, and you cut it and you paint it a bit and you glue them together, it really looks like a piece of stone. So those are just things you just happen to find out, and it works. Or you see something do that on YouTube, you think, hey, I could use that. So that's how that goes.
Well, you kind of got me onto a good segue for the next question then. What materials are you using for rust and corrugated iron?
Okay. That's an interesting question. I have, let me show you. This is a piece of aluminum. And as you can see, it's a bit thicker than aluminum foil. And I get these, I buy these drip trays. You can buy for like Thanksgiving or something, you know. And they're made of aluminum, and they cost about €1. And they have 2 of them. And I cut these up because this is the thickness is actually perfect for corrugated roofs. It's not too thin and not too thick. And what I use, and I have multiple, but I have one here. It's this is basically a tube squeezer. And those are used to, if you have like tubes of paint and you want to get the last bit out, you put the tube in here and you close it and you do this and you squeeze the paint out of the tube. But you can use them to let me show you.
Feed the, okay, I see where you're going.
And you would be, and you cut this up and you have corrugated steel.
Yeah.
So that's how I make these things. And I don't have it here, but I also have a smaller one where this is quite a big scale actually. This is too big for most of the things I make. Yeah, that's how I do that. And then it's basically just a matter of putting some. I usually use model paint because it sticks a bit better, which is acrylic, and I paint them usually just gray, and then use a bit of brown with orange mixed, and you just mix that with a little bit of water, and the same like I told you about the black moldy water type. I do that with orange brown, and that's how you get that rust effect in it. It looks really nice.
It's very clever. I love learning about this sort of stuff. How people, it's a bit old school, isn't it? You know, you could probably find someone who's selling pieces, but you're probably going to pay 5 to 10 times, if not more, the cost for it. And you found a perfectly good way. I'm certain you probably found that from a YouTube video or something. Someone,
correct.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So what about grass and foliage though? That's a whole different level.
Yeah, about grass you cannot really make yourself, but you can buy that in the model store or online. And I have one big bag here, and this was about €15, so it's not cheap, but this is good quality, very small scale, HO scale grass, and I use this one for the green mustache. And then sometimes I buy.
Someone in chat saying PVA moss. Have you thought about using PVA moss on there?
No, but I will look into that if that's good stuff.
Yep.
Then we'll try it.
Mix some PVA glue, moss, and water. I think and you could paint moss on there. Saying.
Okay. I will look into that. I've never used that technique. And sometimes I buy from say Temu or something really cheap different colors, because if you mix that with the grass I just showed you, you get a more natural effect, because the grass is not one single color, but it has some shades of yellow in it or something. So I do that. And foliage, that's actually I think a bit more difficult, but I try to find twigs in my garden or somewhere outside. And it's very small twigs, and basically, if you use an aerosol glue and you spray it on, and you dip it in, I don't know where it's made from, but it's like, I think it's some sort of paper. You can also just buy that. It's basically yeah, it looks like super small confetti kind of, and in
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of colors. And I just dip the twigs in, and then if you're done, then you have a tree like this, or a bush like this.
Yep.
See that? And that's basically how I make them. I did make a full tree once, but I'm not good at it. I talked to you about the forced perspective pieces I did.
Mm-hmm.
In one of them, this is from The Last of Us. This is Ellie and Dinah's house. This is also a forced perspective piece because it doesn't have a backside. So I put this on top of my car and photographed it at sunset, so it looked like you were looking over the field at the sunset. But this tree, that's why I wanted to show you, is I made that myself from cable starter wire. So I bought some a cable starter, cheap one, and cut the wires out, and then you twist them together until you get this. But it's personally, it's not my favorite kind of thing to do. So I rather use twigs.
In chat, someone saying lush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It's
have you looked into 3D printing anything?
yeah. I have one. Only shortly. I bought it about a month ago. And I use it especially for wall parts because I can make them by hand. I can show you. This one I made by hand from balsa, but the difficult thing for me, the most difficult thing, is window frames because
Yep.
they're just pieces of plastic or pieces of wood, and you just put them around the hole in the wall, and then one comes out a bit skewered. And for some reason, maybe that's just me, but if I build something and a window frame isn't straight or a door frame isn't straight, the whole thing looks fake. So I have thrown away so many walls just because I didn't get the window right, and it's very frustrating. So I have a 3D printer basically for that. So I make these parts because that printer can just make it. And here is one wall I made with a 3D printer.
Mm-hmm.
And those windows are just perfect. And yeah, that's how I do it. That's why. And it's a very simple printer. It's a cheap one. It's a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. It can print only one color, and it can't print very small details, but it's good enough for me to do this kind of stuff and make my life a little bit easier.
And then, maybe if this pans out even more, you might be able to upscale to something a bit fancier. But yeah, that's kind of smart. It's the same sort of advice that I give and that you hear people give to streamers when they start off. Don't go in and buy all the most expensive flashes stuff. Just get enough to get in and make sure you're going to enjoy it. And if it builds up from there, then you can look at getting the latest flashes, Gucci stuff. But yeah, don't overinvest.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to make a typical piece?
A new piece, if I haven't made it before, like I've made the log cabins a couple of times, so I can make them fairly quickly. But something like the green mustache was a new one for me. That took me about, I think, 4 weeks, something like that.
3 to 4 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, but I had to throw away basically the whole building one time after I was halfway done because I just didn't like the size. And like the front of the building, it came out to be not wide enough. I miscalculated, so I looked at it and I thought, okay, the house is too thin. It should be a bit wider. So basically, then I've painted already everything, so you just take it out, the front and the back, and remade them a centimeter wider. So yeah, that takes a lot of time. You just have to not get frustrated. Just accept the fact that you have to throw away stuff, start over, and if you can do that, then it's a fun hobby. If you can't do that, then it's not a fun hobby.
A couple of comments there. Solo Clone saying, thanks, man, for sharing your art. Great stuff. Prosper and enjoy, man. And Bake Button Basher, do you ever leave any Easter eggs or your mark on your creations?
I think the sharpening stone in the outhouse is a typical thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have seen it, or if you can even see it on the camera. It's very small, but it's inside the.
Just in there. Yeah.
So that's it.
I did like that.
Yeah, and I put a little shovel next to the green mustache. I'm not sure if it was on the photos, but I put a small shovel somewhere in a corner. So I like to definitely like to do small Easter eggs. Yeah. I do.
Have you ever built something that felt personal?
No, not really. I thought about doing my the house where I grew up. That's not a very beautiful house, but it's
It's still your house, or your home,
exactly.
where you live.
Yeah, so I've thought about doing that. So maybe I'm going to do that. But I didn't really do anything yet that I would consider to be very personal.
I imagine if you're going to do something like that as well, your skills have probably come a long way from when you first started. So when you're at a point where you're happy that you could give it the attention something like that would deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I think if you make something personal, you really want it to be perfect. So so I might do that.
Have you ever had any custom commissions that you've done for people?
I haven't done them yet, but I did get a lot of people asking me to do certain things, mostly DayZ stuff. People asking for specific buildings, and
which I did.
Yeah, Green Mountain, I think you said, or Zenith.
No, Zenith, the Zenith, radio station. The thing behind that, folks, is I approached him about doing that because, as you know, I do like to do things, nice things for people who I think have done nice things for the community. And one of those is the inspiration for the DayZ podcast and why I'm doing what I do now. Renee, Barely Infected, a fellow Dutch lad like yourself, Pew Pew. And I thought it would be nice if we could get the radio station made as a gift for him, just to thank him for all those stories he helped share, and for doing the very first ever DayZ podcast. He called it Altercast, and it might make a nice gift for him. So Pew Pew's thinking about whether it is going to be possible, and he'll get back to me, and maybe I'll hit up the community, see if we can help and raise the funds to cover it. And because it'd just be something nice to give back to someone who you said you've only been in DayZ for a couple of years, but Renee or Barely Infected was pretty much one of, if not the nicest guys in the DayZ community. I don't think anyone ever had a bad word to say about him. And for a small channel, he definitely punched well above his weight. He created the first DayZ podcast. He created the Village server, which is one of the most iconic DayZ servers of all time. You probably would have loved it. It was a more of a vanilla server, but the rule of it was no Discord, no TeamSpeak, nothing like that. All communication had to be done in game. And it was kind of novel for the idea back then. Caused some drama, but it was massively popular.
Okay, fun. Was that on the PC version of DayZ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That was even before it was on console, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably back around 2014 to 2016-ish.
Okay.
What's the most meaningful piece you've made so far?
I think for me, it's the one I just show you, this one, because this was entirely done by hand. There was no 3D printers or anything involved. Took a long time, and I actually put this in my living room, although it was on my Etsy. But I think this was for me the most meaningful one because I was really 100% satisfied with this one. There was nothing that I said, I could have done this part better or anything. It was just, to me, this is the most perfect one I've made.
How do you package something like that to ship it, though?
Because I never had packaging in mind when I started to build these things, because I wasn't really planning on selling. Um,
Yeah.
that's a thing. I basically, this weekend, I had to send one of these, or the Green Mountain one, to the USA. But I think the most vulnerable thing is the tree, and that it can break very easily because it's basically just a twig. So I use a lot of foam around it and create like a safe space inside it, and kind of fix it in there, and then hope for the best, basically. But I am planning on, if I gonna sell these again with trees involved, I'm gonna put the trees separate so that the tree will come in its own box, in a protected box. I can do that. That's not really a big problem. And I will just make like a hole in the base where the person who bought it can just put the tree in himself, and that would be a bit easier, because they're quite sturdy, but it's just basically those small details like trees and the brushes that are
Hmm.
they can break quite easy.
How hard is it to price handmade work like this properly?
Pretty hard, because have looked at other builders who do stuff, and you have established builders who are quite famous, already doing this for 20 years, and they charge a lot. And there are people, they make pieces in the usually somewhere between the 150 and 300 range, somewhere there. So it's actually quite difficult. So for me, it's just based on the effort I put into it, and uh, and not so much the materials, because the materials aren't very expensive. So yeah,
It's a
basically it's
labor of love, though.
the labor. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm actually still finding my way in this, because I just started selling. So, I think prices for stuff I made before
Look,
will
you told me
probably
you
go
just
down.
shipped. You just shipped two. So I don't know whether you need to. You know, bake buttons in chat there saying it feels like you could charge more. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got comments, people, they're saying, I love it, but I find it way too expensive. And I have people who say, no, that's just what that cost. You know, if you want to have that, that's the price. But for me to determine, okay, what is the right price, is actually quite difficult.
What do people misunderstand about handmade dioramas that you've noticed?
Well, one of the things, what I just told you before, people, they say, hey, do this, very large building over there. And they think I can make it like this big. But if it's a real large building, in real life, and I make it this big, you won't have any details. It's going to be, uh, it's going to look quite simple, basically. And, so I think people, underestimate that maybe a bit. So that mainly, I think.
You've said that this is just a passion project. Could you ever envisage this becoming a full-time job?
Actually, I'd love to. I like this better than my job, but but
It'd be
there's not
hard,
many
wouldn't it?
people
You
who
said it
can make
takes
them.
3 to 4 weeks to make one,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're only getting €500 for a month's work.
yeah.
I don't imagine your wife would be too happy about that.
No, no. So I don't think I can make a living out of it. But I do love to do this, and I do love to make. For me, one of the things that I get the most gratification out of is if people say, "Hey, I know that building. I built a base in that." You know, so that they immediately recognize what I built. That is for me. I get a kick out of that. Really.
Yeah. What's the hardest part? Building, marketing, or selling?
For me, marketing and selling, because that's not really my thing. I'm not really.
I'm hoping this will help you a bit with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've shared it in a creator group
yeah.
with about 80 content creators, shared it on Twitter. Doing this episode, I'll get it edited and we'll release it and hopefully get some more. I know the devs are aware of you as well and love what you're doing. So, I know people have been sharing it as well. So hopefully you'll start to see some more traction around it. And
Okay.
yeah, but you got to be careful of that point where it goes from being something you enjoy doing to something where it's like, oh fuck, I've got to do another one to meet this order. And
That's what I don't really want. I want to keep it. I also have a family life and a job, so I don't want. I rather not have too much pressure. So for me, it's basically just I build something, I put it online for sale, and then it's there. And if somebody asks me like you, like, can you do something build something for us? Of course, I'll think about it. I might do it, but you have to remember that's going to take quite some time. That's the way it is. And for me, if it comes to selling, I actually made me a bit nervous because I have to pack everything and then send it, and I'm really worried. What if it breaks? What if it doesn't arrive? What am I going to do then? I have no experience with that sort of stuff, so that actually makes me a bit nervous.
And some people can be dicks as well. Like, you're buying something that's going to be quite fragile by nature, so there is a chance it could arrive and need some minor repairs. Hopefully, just minor, but have you had much support from the DayZ community with this?
Well, on Reddit and on the Facebook pages, there's quite a lot of people, really like it, and getting a lot of compliments, so that's nice. And like you said, there are people they're asking for things. Hey, can you maybe build this or that next? And I'm quite happy with it, because sometimes they tell me something which I didn't think about. I think, oh, that's actually a nice idea. So there was, I always forget the town name, but you have that coastal town in Chernarus with the police station with a well in front.
Wobo.
Kamenki or something with a K.
Oh, I can't remember it either. Yeah.
So I thought it's actually not a bad idea to do the police station. So I might do that one. And I'm currently working on. You have these typical DayZ sheds with the graffiti on the door. I did that with the Green Moustache building, and I'm gonna make a couple of these.
Kemi Wobo.
Yeah, that one.
That's it.
That's the place.
For some reason, I was putting Wobo, like my brain just hasn't been the same since my little medical episode, but I was putting Wobo at the front. I was like, there's no city called Wobo. What is that? Kemi Wobo, yeah. I used to like you guys. He's getting up me for not knowing one of the most iconic towns. I deserve that. Just remember, I had a mini stroke. Give me some latitude.
Okay.
So we know that have you had any contact from the devs at all?
No, I remember that when I did the very first forced perspective thing, one of them, I think, on Reddit said something like he would. He said he liked it, and he forwarded it to the team, the development team. But they didn't really reach out to me or anything.
If they were to ask you to make an official piece and said, we'll leave it up to you, come up with an idea, tell us how much it's going to cost, and we're going to pay for it. So you basically got an unlimited budget and unlimited creativity. What would be the piece that you would make to give to the dev team?
Oh, that's a good one. I would have to think about it. I think I'm not really sure. And there are things that are, of course, iconic, like the ship at Rifi or something, but those are really difficult to build by hand.
The ship at Rifi, that would be wow.
It would be great, but it would be difficult. But those.
But you've got that unlimited budget, remember?
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. So I might try to do something like that.
Would you do just a ship, or would you try to get the peninsula off to the side of it as well to give it that?
Yeah, with a few containers around it,
I
would do that. And I haven't much experience with creating water, but it's actually doable to make a diorama with very realistic looking water, which has to use epoxy. But I do not have much experience with that. So but that would be something.
Scotty, if you're watching this, there you go. Hit him up and get him to make that, because I think that would be absolutely beautiful to see. The Riffy shipwreck. I think that would be fantastic. Absolutely mind-blowing to see that made IRL. Like, yeah, that would be insane. Like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all. That is. Oh,
that
you
would be
really
a
got me
challenge for me,
excited.
though.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
One final question before I give you the floor, if there's anything else you want to talk about. But if someone discovered your work 5 years from now, what would you hope they'd say about it?
Well, I hope they would still that they would recognize the places, that I built. Like, hey, that's the house I used to play this game in, or
Yeah.
that mostly that actually the recognition. That's why I do this for.
Now, anyone in chat, if you've got any questions, sadly, because I screwed up the launch, we don't have too many people watching. There's probably people sitting in the other lobby going, fucking Boydie, he slept in again. He's 50 minutes late. But is there anything else that you would like to bring up about what you're doing, or just anything in general?
Well, I was thinking about doing other stuff than DayZ.
I think you're mad if you don't.
Yeah, I like I showed you, I did the forced perspective thing from
Yep.
The Last of Us, and I actually was thinking of doing a full diorama of this house because I just like the house. And the other thing is I am recreating these sheds from DayZ with graffiti on the door, but then a bit bigger, and you could actually open them up, and I would put loot inside. A bit like these German Kinder Surprise eggs with a toy inside of them. I don't know if you know those, but a bit like that. Those are things I'm thinking about doing.
If you guys have got any ideas of games or iconic something specific from a game as well that you think would resonate, leave a comment and I'll make sure that Pew Pew gets to see it. But yeah, I'm even thinking some of the iconic locations in a game like Rust. It's got a massive player base, so there'd probably be an audience out there willing to buy, say, Dome or Missile, those sort of places. Missile Silo that are more iconic. Even the ship in that game's quite iconic. Could make for some good dioramas to sell off to people that would be interested in it. But yeah, DayZ definitely does have a market because it's just such an iconic game.
Yeah.
With over a decade of people playing it, and as you said, one of the beautiful things about it is because the houses are. It does get a bit boring at times, seeing the same houses on every single map and all the rest of it. That's why I've been happy to see some new stuff of late. But it definitely has that instant recognition factor for people. They look at that and they go, it doesn't need a DayZ logo. It doesn't need a person even dressed up like a survivor. You just look at the house and you go, that's a DayZ house.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Abe, what is Abe? ABE. I don't know that game, but some Soulstorm Brew would be cool. But yeah, I think Red Dead Redemption's got some iconic locations as well. But again, that's more of a campaign game. It's these online games where people are constantly seeing the same things over and over and over again, which would probably resonate the best. Pardon me.
I've seen other people doing dioramas from Fallout, for instance, which are fun because you have these crazy buildings. And
Abe's Odyssey, sorry, he just said. Oh, now there's an idea, because Abe's Odyssey's got a bit of an older game on the PlayStation. What about, hear me out, Pew Pew? You're an old school gamer. What about doing Donkey Kong?
Oh, I think I could do that.
Yeah. Have the gorilla up the top throwing the barrels down, and even Frogger, the landscape of Frogger.
It might come.
Yeah, and that would be an interesting one where you could do an interpretation of it.
Yeah.
The crocs in the water and
Mhm.
the logs and stuff like that. That's an idea.
Yeah, that's definitely
That's
an
it.
idea.
Yeah.
And maybe for something you can hang on the wall like a framed thing. That
Yeah.
so that could, could be done definitely.
Oh, yeah. That's quite interesting. Some of those old school games, yeah. And hey, the Gen Xers and that, and even the late boomers who were around for the evolution of video games and that, they've all got a lot of money, mate. So they'd probably be prepared
Okay.
to pay top dollar for something like that. You just got to be careful of those Nintendo IPs. They're very litigious.
Oh, okay. I'll be careful.
Yeah. Don't do Pokemon. Don't do anything Nintendo.
No,
They will
okay.
sue your ass.
Disney the same, I think. We'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else got any questions, or is there anything else that you would like to discuss before we call it quits, Pew Pew?
No, I think we covered everything. I would like to say that I'm also looking into creating stuff from TV shows and movies, not just games.
Ooh.
I was thinking about doing Walter White's house from Breaking Bad with a pizza on the roof, which I would think would be hilarious. If I make it, it will show up on my shop, and I will post it online in all the.
Did you want to quickly explain to people why the shop is empty at the moment?
I was kind of basically sold out in a day, but that was a bit overwhelming for me. I still have a few pieces that are on a listing which I deactivated for now because I don't have the time today, tomorrow, and Tuesday to send out anything. And if somebody orders something, Etsy wants to send me to package it and send it within 2 working days, and I just don't have the time right now. So I will be turning the listings on again, probably around Wednesday.
No worries.
Yep.
Well, Pew Pew, mate, I am absolutely blown away by your creativity, mate, and I always love when someone shares a something like this with me. And if anyone watching this knows of anyone else out there who's doing some amazing stuff like this, because I've talked to a lot of content creators, I've talked to devs and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, it's the people like yourself and just the average gamers who get inspired and then start to create stuff that really are the heart and soul of a gaming community like DayZ.
Yeah.
I've seen it before with other people who've made stuff. We had Pupi, I think his name was Pedikai, who made those figurines that I showed you, the Hannah and the Yellow King and others. We got to do something nice with him. Even my friend Match, she made these lovely little
cool.
resin, and it's a keycap.
Okay.
It goes on my keyboard. That's my escape button, and I've got a red one that's a first aid kit as well. And just little things like that. I love seeing them. There's someone out there who makes the knitted images and that as well for DayZ, and little things like that, which should definitely all be trying to help and share and make sure people are aware of. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, mate.
Thank you for having me.
What's the best way for people to get in contact with you if they want to hit you up about something? I'm going to guess the Etsy store.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that would be the best. I do have a Reddit account, which is the name is Pew 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 Ouch. In one name, it's my
Pew 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 Ouch.
Yeah. I know. I came up with it like 15 years ago.
That's all. No, it's awesome. That speaks to me on a visceral level. That's
awesome. My Reddit name, and you can send me a message there too if you want. So that's that.
PP, thank you so much, mate. I was, like I said, so happy to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, we will end it there. I've got another show scheduled for this Thursday coming up. I'm going to be chatting with Victory Spam LT, and we're going to be talking about, you probably heard this yourself, Pew Pew, when people say DayZ needs more guns, we need this, that, and the other thing. And Victory has an idea that maybe it's not so much new guns, but we need to expand what we can do with the guns that we have. And it's quite a good idea in that, modernizing some of it and adding a bit more life to this old girl, because she's definitely getting old, DayZ, and I don't know how many more weapons and calibers and stuff like that the engine could handle, but it could probably easily handle, some different variants of some of the guns we've got. And yeah, I don't want to give away too much of the show, but I'll have that popping up and hopefully work out how to make sure that I don't end up with a separate stream starting for the show when it starts. But Pew Pew, thank you so much, mate.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
All the best, everyone, and we will see you next time. Ciao for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.